17 weeks every Tuesday evening for you and Wednesday morning for me. And today would be the last chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which is the 18th chapter, longest chapter that way, 78 verses. So we would be rushing a little to complete it in an hour's time. As soon as it's like the 18th chapter, the first verse, Srila Prabhupada says, Bhagavad Gita is over in the first 17 chapters. And 18th chapter is a revision that Arjuna requests Krishna. And if you study the 17 chapters, you will find the 18th chapter will have uh, things repeated from many of the previous chapters to the point two verses repeated verbatim, which have already been given by Krishna. They are also repeated in the 18th chapter of the Gita. So there are sections and sections which have already been discussed, and Krishna just repeats it. And by the time Krishna finishes the Bhagavad Gita in the 18th chapter with his revision, Krishna tells Arjuna, I hope you have heard with an attentive mind. You are attentive. You have heard it. Now please apply it. Yatha ichhasi tatha kuru. Whatever you desire, please do it. Now you have to make a decision whether to fight the war or not. And Arjuna was very somber at that time, when he feels, oh, after having heard the wonderful nectar of Bhagavad Gita, why is Krishna just giving up on me? Why is he leaving me like this? You decide what you want to do. Then Krishna, out of compassion for Arjuna, he says, I will once again repeat the most important part of the whole Bhagavad Gita. So after having done the revision, after having left the decision to Arjuna, once again Krishna says, Sarva guhya tamam shrunume paramam vachaha. So that's the last section where Krishna will speak the penalty, the final verse, the verse. If Krishna appears in this world to do dharma sansthapanarthaya, so and if he was given only one verse to speak, that verse that would be the verse which we'll see today. This is Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshayishyami mascha. 18.65. That will come. Everything, the entire Bhagavad Gita in one verse. So let us begin by chanting the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnaprishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya Evacha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, the last chapter, which is the 18th chapter of the Gita, uh, the acronym is going to be SMILE, SMILE, SMILE. And what does SMILE stand for? The first 12 verses is the summary of Karma Yoga, that is S. M, once again, modes of nature, and a summary of Jnana Yoga, which is between text 13 to 40. It's 18.13 to 18.40. Between 41st to 54th verse, Krishna will discuss about the ideal worker. Then 55 to 66, Krishna will discuss about love of God and the supreme objective. And between 67 to 78th verse, he will end the Bhagavad Gita. He'll close it and give the glories of Bhagavad Gita and about discussing Bhagavad Gita. Let us dive in, because it's a long chapter and the entire 17th chapter condensed and summarized in one. So there could be places where you feel you're not getting the hang of it. Possible, right? But because the mandate is Gaurav wants us to complete the whole chapter in one sitting, so we will try to do that. Okay. So the chapter begins with Arjuna's question on difference between sannyasa and tyaga. So Arjuna is asking this question because he has already heard on Jnana Yoga. He has heard about so Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, or Dhyana Yoga. He has heard of all this. So especially with regards to karma, because his bewilderment is also in terms of action, right? Should I be performing action or should I be giving up action? So that's giving up action is sannyasa. Arjuna wants the deeper meaning of now. Sannyasa is giving up action. What is tyaga also here? So in the second verse, Krishna defines sannyasa and tyaga in one verse. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sannyasam Kavayo Vidu Sarva Karma Phala Tyagam Rahus Tyagam Vichakshanaha. So what is sannyasa and what is tyaga? Okay. So sannyasa means to renounce both the fruits and the work itself. And what is tyaga? Tyaga means to renounce the fruits of one's work. Kamyanam karmanam. So there are two kinds of activities. One is called nitya karma and one is called as kamya karma. What is nitya karma? These are standard daily prescribed duties. Right? Nitya karmas are like taking bath is one action we perform. Then sandhya vandanam, like chanting of the names, the worship that we do. Nitya karmas, eating. Right? Now kamya karma is karmas which is done to fulfill some personal desire. Like some yajna has to be done, right? Like putra kamishti yajna people will do, or some puja some people will do. So nitya karmas, actions or karmas which are required for our daily, as daily duties. Kamya karma means out of some personal desire, some personal wish, some actions are performed. So sannyasa versus tyaga. So in sannyas, what is happening? One gives up kamya karmas, no more desires, personal desires, and only performs nitya karmas, only prescribed duties. What is tyaga? Tyaga means one will perform all the kamya karmas, nitya karmas, but without being attached to the results. It means tyaga means you have to give up the attachment to the results. But activities which lead to spiritual advancement, spiritual purification, liberation, they are not to be given up. Right? So Krishna in the entire Gita is saying Tyaga is more important. Tyag is, beneficial than just giving up the activities as sannyasa. So Krishna gives two opinions about Tyaga in the text 3. Tyajyam dosha vad iti eki. Right? Krishna says, give up all fruitive activities as faulty because there is a possibility of violence in the acts of sacrifice. Now, and natyajyam iti chapare, never give up the acts of sacrifice. There are two different opinions in the scriptures, right? So Kapila Sankhya, I'm giving a little extra to it. Kapila Sankhya says, oh, one should give up all fruitive activities because there is dosha there. You get karma out of it. But Jaimini says, no, the act of yajna, dana, tapa should not be given up. Giving it up will incur sin. So two different opinions. Krishna settles it in the remainder of the chapter. So text 7 to 9, Krishna talks about the renunciation is of three kinds. Tyaga is of three kinds. In text 5th, Krishna says one should never give up acts of sacrifice, charity, and austerity. Yajna, dana, tapaha. Like Yajna for us is chanting of the holy name is yajna. Oh, one should not give up thinking, oh, it's difficult, it's cumbersome, it's painful sometimes. Dana, acts of charity, right? We we will perform certain duties, some artha, some money will be earned from it. We should know that money is tainted with sin. Dana, charity is so important. And some tapah, like today we have Ashadi Ekadashi in India. Ekadashi, we do fasting. That is a tapasya. Right? So these karmas, yajna, dana, tapah, karma, these karmas, Krishna says in the text 5, na tyajyam, never give up these. Why? Yajno, danam, tapaschaiva, pavanani manishinam, those who are pure become all the more pure by performing yajna, dana, and tapah. But what should be the mood? That is text 6. Etani apitu karmani sangam tyaktva falani cha kartavyan iti me partha nishchitam matamuttamam. My mata in terms of tyaga, Krishna says, my opinion is two things. First of all, don't give up yajna dana tapa, not tyajyam. Then he says, the mood should be twofold. Sangam tyaktva falanicha, one should be detached from the results of one's activities. And why should you perform action? Only for kartavya, as a matter of duty. Then Krishna, between text 7 to 9, Krishna says, Tyaga Tyaga is in three modes. The modes affect. There is Tyaga in ignorance, there is Tyaga renunciation in passion, and there is Tyaga in goodness. Niyatasya tu sannyasah karmano na upapadyate mohatasya parityagas tamasah parikirtita. Because of being illusion, one gives up one's duties. Tyaga in ignorance. What is Tyaga in passion? Dukkham iti eva yat karma. Those whose actions only lead to misery. Kaya klesha bhayat tyajet, and they give it up because it is difficult for the body. They become fearful. Naiva tyaga phalam labet. They will never attain the result of tyaga. Text 9, Krishna talks about tyaga in goodness. Karyam iti eva yat karma niyatam kriyate Arjuna. One should perform it as duty. Sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva. When one is detached from the results, that is tyaga in mode of, that is renunciation or tyaga in mode of goodness. Right? So, text 10, Krishna says, who is a medhavi, a wise renunciant, an intelligent tyagi? Krishna says, na dveshti, he has no envy towards anyone. Akushalam karma, does not think, oh, this is good or that is bad. Akushalam kushale na anusajjate. His tyaga does not depend on the, easiness or difficultness of an activity. Tyagi sattva samavishto medhavi chinna samshayah. Ultimately, this tyagi will become will become freed from all the doubts. And will become free from bondage. Now, Arjuna will have a question. Okay. If I can ask you a question, why tyaga should be done? Why one should be in a renounced mode while performing one's work? Any guesses? Why renunciation is?
So detached from the fruits.
Why? Why?
Do you want me to try to touch it? Yeah. Fine. Okay. We just had it. No,
Okay, I'll
why?
answer.
Because it's easy.
One day, someday, or any moment you have to leave everything. You remain attached, then you get one more body. You are not getting free from bondage, right? Liberation is not happening for one who is attached. But if we are sure, or as they say, as sure as death, if mrityu and death is going to happen, what should be my temperament while I'm about to die? Right? Like, Gaurav Prabhu, he has booked a flight and he has to, let's say go at 7 o'clock in the morning, he has a flight. What will Gaurav Prabhu do? He will simply pack what is required in his bag, move off, lock the home and move off. If he remains attached, but my home, my room, my things, no, but what is the plan? You have a planned and scheduled travel. Move on. See, Atma has to go from this body one day. Atma will have to move. With what consciousness, with what baggage do I want to move? A renounced temperament means, anyways, even a broken needle is not going to go with me. Even a waste needle will not go with me. What am I holding on to? Let me, with whatever actions I perform, with whatever results I get, prepare my consciousness that at the point of death, if I can only think of Krishna and not think of either the actions or the results, not be attached to that, I become attached to Krishna, then no more taking birth and no more death for the soul. Got it? Thank you. Now Arjuna is saying, uh, if I have to get, if the goal is to avoid bondage in repeated birth and death, why are you asking me to work? Let me give it up. I won't do anything. If work is going to cause bondage, action will bring results, and results make me either attached to them or results make me suffer. I better give up action. Krishna says, don't do this. Don't prematurely give up action. Very dangerous. You will stop your hands and legs. Remember in the third chapter, Krishna had said, Karmendriya, the hands and legs, you will stop. No, I will not do any work. But what will you do with the mind? The impure mind will work. And if the mind becomes attached to something, then you will indulge in wrong acts. Right? So you need a purified heart for meditation. So perform actions in a manner, the actions are pure, your intentions are pure, and you know how to engage the results of that action. So Arjuna's understanding is, if action is going to cause bondage and I'm supposed to avoid bondage, why do I work? Krishna says, if you remember in text 3.5, so I had said in 18th chapter, many things will get repeated. In chapter number 3, text 5, Krishna had said, Nahi kaschit kshanam api jatu tishtati akarma krit. Krishna had said, Arjuna, the soul cannot remain inactive even for a moment. How can you just say, stop it? No, you cannot. The soul is so active. Like, if I can give you an example, if a sick patient is lying on the hospital bed and practically every hole in the body is, some pipe is there, and if there was less holes available, they have created more holes by piercing needles, and so many pipes everywhere in the body. And this sick patient lying on the bed has his mobile phone with him, and this guy is making a profit of $200,000 a day. What do you expect this guy when he comes out of his sickness and becomes healthy? What will this patient, what do you expect this person to do? What amount of profit? Not $200,000 anymore. You will say 2 millions a day this guy will make because he's healthy now. So Prabhupada says, in the stage of bondage, if Atma is so active now, under the three modes, imagine in liberation, what will be the activity? We will not just be Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Prabhupada says when the kids don't behave properly, you have to tell silence. But imagine if the kids only remain silent throughout the day, you'll say, Baba, do something, constructive. So Atma in the stage of bondage is so active now. Imagine the liberated state. So Krishna says, Atma you cannot hold. Atma is dynamic. Soul is active, even for a moment. So just stopping the action is not possible. Right? So that was 3.5, right? Which Krishna mentions. So Krishna has already mentioned. So in 11th verse, Krishna gives who is a true tyagi, a true renunciate. Nahi deha brita shakyam yatyam karmani asheshatah. Once again, same thing repeated as 3.5. Deha britam, for the soul who is covered by the body, giving up action is not possible. You will not be able to sustain for long. Yastu karma phalatyagi, one who renounces the fruits of one's action. Satyagi iti abhidiyate. He is a real tyagi, true renunciate. So Prabhupada, in that purport, I will read the purport for you, what Prabhupada says. There are many members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness who work very hard in their office or in the factory or some other place, and whatever they earn, they give to the society. Such highly elevated souls are actually sannyasis and are situated in the renounced order of life. It is clearly outlined here how to renounce the fruits of work and for what purpose fruits should be renounced. So it is impossible to give up all activity. Therefore, a true renunciate is one who performs only religious duties without attachment to their fruits. Right? And various good and bad reactions will come out of the duties. Right? But one who works without desire for these fruits will not be subject to the bondage accruing out of those fruits. Such a tyagi will become liberated from all reactions. Now let us go to the acronym is SMILE. We go to the next section, that is 13th to 40th verse. M. M stands for modes of nature and summary of the Jnana Yoga, the 4th chapter of the Gita. So there are 4 types of jnanis. Right? Okay. Beyond the scope. Now we go to 5 uh, uh, factors which cause action, the right action. First, Krishna says is adhisthana. The place is very important for action. Second, karta, the doer, the performer of the action. 3, Krishna says karana, which is the senses. 4th, chesta, the effort exerted. 5, daivi, the sanction of God or destiny. So when I perform action, I think I have done everything. Everything depends on me. If I put my best, the results have to come. Krishna says, no, 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 no. That's not knowledge. There are 5 factors for action, and on these 5 factors, results depend on these 5 factors. The place, if you see the Bhagavad Gita is spoken, the first verse is spoken, Dharma Kshetre Kuru Kshetre. They chose a place for the battle. And Dhritarashtra was, in the first verse, Dhritarashtra says, I'm worried. Will this place of pilgrimage, a religious place, affect the outcome of the battle? So you have to choose. The place affects, right? The place very much affects the result that you are going to get out of an action. Second, which we all know, the doer. I am the doer, I think, right? The doer, performer. Karana is the senses. Your senses should support. Your indriya should support, right? Like, take an example of a, you know, what do you call it? What is the game where you shoot arrows? What do you call it?
Archery.
Archery. Yes, thank you. Archery. Yeah, archery. Now there are two players, right? Both want, they're at the right place. They both want to win the gold medal, but one guy will say, "Oh, somehow I could not see it properly at the last moment. I could not aim it. The senses did not support." The senses are important. Chesta, how much effort you have put, that also is important. And the last and the most important, which we all forget while we perform our work in this world, is we need sanction of God, destiny. Right? Like in India, now it's the time to sow the seeds. It's the rainy season. These seeds are already sown. And all the farmers are waiting. Now it will be rains, then the plants will grow, and another 3 months, 2 months, 2 or 3 months from here, they will go and, as they say, reap the crops or cut the crops. So let's say it is October, and the farmer goes to his land and says, "Wow, such beautiful harvest. Let let me get the grains now." Now the fruit of action has come, but it has now, when the farmer goes to cut, or farmer goes to harvest, that action is not bringing the result. Action was done 4 months back. Not every farmer will get the same result because somebody else has to sanction. God, one farmland, you'll find, oh, very nice crop. The other guy is crying. Why? Same chesta, same senses, the doer, the place, the result is awarded by somebody else. Right? Like, let's say, Gaurav Pro goes to his bank and he tells the banker, "I want to withdraw $1 million." Right? Oh, sorry. Gaurav, was that less? Okay, billion, let's say. Right? Gaurav Pro goes to the banker and says, "I want to withdraw $1 billion." Right? And the banker will go and check the computer and say, "No, you don't have this much in your bank." So today, what I am getting in my life is what I have invested before. I may only be withdrawing it today. Today's action is not responsible for the result I am getting it today. It is the past action, the past results, my past punya, which is giving me the result today. Right? So how are these results coming? It is coming by the sanction of God. It is coming by the punya that I have done. A destiny is created out of it. So when I perform action and I am looking for results, I generally think I am doing it. I will get it. Krishna says no, 5 factors. Once again, the place, the doer, the senses, the efforts exerted, and the sanction of God. And out of these 5, the sanction is very important. This sanction is done depending on how we have behaved in the previous lives and this life. Otherwise, I may perform action now, but sanction will not be given. if I have not been a proper citizen, a proper, yogi, if, okay, I have spent too much time, 8 o'clock already. So, Krishna in the 16th verse, Krishna says, that's why give up this doership mentality. I am the doer. I will achieve it. I will attain it. It only makes us go into sinful life where I think everything depends on me. Krishna is very dangerous for the soul. Understand, you are working in an ecosystem. You are not alone here. 5 factors. Out of that, you are one, and you are not the most important one. But while we live in this world, everyone impresses upon us. You are, like in India, they say, "Tuch hai tuja jivanata shilpakar." You can craft your destiny, they say. No, 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 no. Krishna says, no, you are in the you're in an ecosystem. You are just one factor, the doer. Krishna says, give up this doership mentality. That's text 16. Tatraivam sati kartaram atmanam kevalam tu yaha pashyatya akrita buddhitvan nasa pashyati durmatihi. Krishna says, one who sees oneself as the doer, only factor responsible for results of an action, durmatihi, foolish intelligence, foolish by his intelligence. Text 17, Krishna says, na ahankara krito bhava. One should never be, having this ahankara bhava, false ego, that I am the doer. And one who is not affected by such ahankara, hatvapi sa iman lokan hantina nibadhyate, one will never come under bondage. So now from text 18 to text 40, Krishna talks about the modes control all activities and all beings. Right? So Jnanam, see Krishna says in the 18th verse, Jnanam, Neyam, Parijnata, Trividha Karma Chodana, Karanam Karma Karteti, Trividha Karma Sangraha. 3 motivators of action. Jnanam, Gneyam, Parijnata. 3 constituents of action. Karma, Karanam, Karta. I know I'm moving fast and I'm throwing some Sanskrit, terminologies here. Because we are just doing a summary study of the entire chapter in an hour, it could be difficult for you to grasp. Move on. When you get time, read Prabhupada's purports to each verse and it will become very clear to you. Or take help from some local devotees, or you could even write to me. In text 19, Krishna says, according to the 3 modes, there are 3 kinds of knowledge. Knowledge under 3 modes, karma under 3 modes, and karta under 3 modes. Now hear of them from me. Text 20, Krishna says, text 20, 21 and 22, Krishna talks about knowledge in the 3 modes. If somebody is affected by a mode of goodness, what will be that person's knowledge? That person will see the same type of soul in all living beings. Same Atma, in the dog, in the cat, in the elephant, in the man, in the woman. It's the same soul. Knowledge in mode of goodness. In passion, one will see different souls. One will see different souls in different bodies, in different living beings. Maybe this soul is, the human soul is better, the cat soul is bad. No, soul is soul. Atma is Atma. And in ignorance, one does not see the presence of soul, only sense gratification. There is no Atma. Right? Like, I'll give you an example. Goodness means one sees the same soul, means one will understand every living being has a right to live. There's a soul in everybody. And I treat everyone equally. That's mode of knowledge in mode of goodness. Knowledge in mode of passion means my son has to live and be healthy, then the chicken has to die. And I don't care. That soul, this soul is different and that soul is different. This soul, my soul, my son, my daughter, my soul. But that soul, chicken, oh, that pratak bhava. And in ignorance, one does not see presence of soul. One only see body, 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 and sense gratification. That is all. That is knowledge in mode of ignorance. Now you can imagine entire school and college education with that we got knowledge in mode of ignorance or maximum passion. Nobody brought us to goodness. What is action in goodness? Action test 23, 24, and 25. Action in mode of goodness is when efforts are regulated by scriptures, then it is in goodness. What is action in mode of passion? Unregulated efforts, and there is overwhelming desire to enjoy. That is passion. What is action in ignorance? Complete disregard of scriptures. Right? It causes violence on others and distress to others. Text 20, 21, and 22, 23, 24, and 25. We have discussed like this. Now, the performer 26, 27, and 28. The performer of action in goodness is one who works without false ego. One is determined, enthusiastic. One who is steady in both success and failure. That's a performer in mode of goodness. When one performs action in mode of passion, one works with fruitive desires, greed, envy, lack of cleanliness, and not steady in success and failure. The performer of action affected by mode of ignorance, that's text 28, right? One goes against authority. One is lazy, dejected. One procrastinates. One cheats, insults others. Right? All this is performer in mode of ignorance. That's text 26, 27, and 28. Now, Krishna in text 29 says there are three types of understanding and determination also. He adds again two more things he adds. Under the three modes, understanding and determination. So text 30, 31, and 32, Krishna says understanding in three modes. When understanding is in mode of goodness, one can distinguish right from wrong. In passion, one cannot distinguish right from wrong. In ignorance, one mistakes one mistakes wrong to be right. That's understanding in three modes. Right? Okay. Now, buddhi, that was buddhi in three modes. Let's go to determination in three modes, 33, 34, and 35. When determination is under mode of goodness, one will have unbreakable determination to achieve liberation by sense control. Right? Determination in mode of goodness means I will get liberated from this world. I will deliver my soul. I will not remain in bondage and I will pay any price for it. That is determination in mode of goodness. Determination in mode of passion, unbreakable, unshakable determination for sense gratification. I will cross mountains if it needed. I will not leave any stone unturned. For what? Same thing that the animals are also doing. Sense gratification. Right? Economic development, mundane religiosity, that is passion. What about determination in mode of ignorance? Anybody can guess? Text 35. Determination in mode of ignorance. Krishna says cannot go beyond dreaming. Keeps on dreaming, keeps on dreaming. That's all this determination achieves. Then Krishna in text 36 says, happiness also is in three modes. And 37, 38, and 39th verse, Krishna gives. In 37th verse, Krishna says, happiness in mode of goodness. You would love to hear this. Amazing explanation by Krishna. Happiness in mode of goodness, Krishna says, first will taste like poison, but will become nectar at the end. Mode of goodness, happiness will, you will, it will taste bitter at the beginning. Not bitter. Krishna says literally poison. Right? Like as soon as you have to pick up your bead bag and chant Hare Krishna, it feels like poison. Oh, I have to chant now. It is so difficult. I could have done so many things. I'm stuck with this bead bag. I have to keep this bead bag in my neck. It is like a noose around me. It is so painful. Poison at the beginning. But Krishna says, wait, nectar at the end. It will become Amruta. Mode of goodness, happiness. Poison first, nectar later. What about passion? Nectar first and poison later. And that's the case of everyone in this world. By the time they become old, and by the time they're like, why did I waste my life in all these activities? किसके लिए घर बनाया? For whom did I make this house? For whom did I did all this? जंजाल, in Hindi they will say जंजाल बना लिया खुद के आसपास. What did I achieve out of all this? What's going with me? Nectar in the beginning, poison at the end. Right? The happiness in mode of ignorance. Right? Krishna says illusory hope of nectar. आएगा, आएगा. They keep on hoping. कुछ तो आने वाला है. Poison from beginning to end. And where does it arise from? Only two things they feel: intoxication and sleep. They will achieve some target with their passion, but then they will say, let us have a party. They'll drink liquor. Everything ends in ignorance after and hangover. Intoxication and sleep. Sometimes you'll find people laugh. Today, now it's weekend. I'm going to sleep. How much sleep? 1 hour? No, no, 8, 10 hours of sleeping only. I lie on my bed. What did you achieve out of it? Nothing. But they feel that's happiness. That's effect of mode of ignorance on a person. Okay. So my request to you is you can read these verses 37, 38, and 39. Sukham, happiness in goodness, passion, and ignorance. In text 40, Krishna summarizes the influence of modes. In this world, there is nobody who is beyond this mode. Rise and come to Sattvam. Sattva, mode of goodness behavior, right? Like action, knowledge, understanding, determination, happiness, all five that Krishna has discussed, in six Krishna has discussed. Krishna said, in all these six, come to the level of goodness. Then muktam, prakruti jair muktam, then you can get free from the bondage of this world. Now Arjuna may ask a question, how to solve this problem of modes affecting us? There must be some program. What should we do to come out of the modes? The soul, very easy to, go get caught by ignorance and passion. I want to come to goodness. What should I do? Krishna replies, huh? In the text, in the chapter 4, Krishna had said, Chatur Varanyam Maya Srishtam. I have made the Varna and Ashrama system. Varna, Ashrama, Dharma. What is Varna and what is Ashrama? Varna is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. That is Varna. And Ashram is Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. Krishna says this Varnashrama system, situate yourself there so that you will come to mode of goodness. Okay, 6 verses after text 40, in the acronym SMILE, I is ideal worker. So actually this is from 41 to 54, entire section that way. So 45 to 48, Krishna will discuss about purification through Karma Yoga. 49 to 54, Krishna discusses about purification through Jnana Yoga. So the modes of nature affect everyone in this world. That was text 40. That's why I create 4 types of people. Krishna says in text 41, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. For Brahmana, 42nd verse, Krishna says a Brahmana works by being peaceful, self-controlled, austere, pure, tolerant, honest, knowledgeable, wise, religious. That's a Brahmana. Text 43, Krishna says the Kshatriya works by being heroic, powerful, determined, resourceful, courageous in battle, generous, dominant. That's text 43. That's a Kshatriya. Text 43 also, again, Krishna talking Vaishya also. Works, text 44, and is Vaishya and Shudra. Works at farming, Vaishya will work at, with farm, cow protection, and Krishi Goraksha Vanijam. Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam, Krishna says. That's the Swabhava of a Vaishya. Shudra, that is text 44, works by serving other 3 classes, that is Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya. Shudra will become an assistant to all 3. So Krishna is saying these 4 classes should be there in the society. So because everyone has certain Swabhava, fit them somewhere, and slowly by their karma, performing their action in mode of goodness, all of them can rise and go beyond the bondage of the modes. So text 41 to 44 is the 4 social orders, the Varnas and their qualities. Text 45 to 48, Krishna talks about importance of sticking to one's prescribed duty. So please read it to yourself. In text 47, Krishna says, Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Paradharmat Swanushtitat Swabhavanyatam Karma Kurvan Napnoti Kilbhisham. Again, you will find a similar verse very close. Swadharman Nidanam Shreya Parodharmo. That was in text 4. So Krishna says it is better to do one's duty. Don't try to think, oh, I have a Vaishya tendency, but I like Brahmana's duty. Krishna says, no, 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 no. That will not help. If you want to purify the soul, understand what Swabhava you have now, what nature you have got now. Slowly move to mode of goodness. Right? So, while Krishna says, even if there could be fault in one's duty, one should not give it up. Because all endeavors have some fault. Krishna says, if there is fire, there is smoke. Dhumenar Agni Ivavrataha. Don't think that, Kshatriya's duty is very good or the Vaishya's duty is good. The Brahmana is performing tapasya and he should feel dejected. Why should I be behind? No, no, no. All endeavors are covered by some fault, Krishna says. Your Swabhava should dictate, your nature should tell you where should you fit in the Varnas. Right? Now, Krishna talks about purification through knowledge. Right? So first, perform reaction-free work through a Jnana Yoga, then come to the Brahman platform, and then come to pure bhakti, by which this chapter will end. The entire summary of the whole Gita, Krishna will say, the goal of life is to come to bhakti, complete devotion. That is the original nature of the soul. We are part and parcel of God, meant to love and serve God, become devoted to God. But the soul, now caught up within the 3 modes, has to first get free from the bondage of 3 modes and then come to pure devotion. So, in text 51 to 53, Krishna gives the process of attaining, the Brahman. Krishna talks about the confidential knowledge here, apparently. And Krishna says, बुद्ध्य विशुद्धया युक्तो धृत्यात्मानं नियम्य च शब्दादीन् विषयांस् त्यक्त्वा रागद्वेषो विदस्य च. A perfect practitioner of karma yoga will come to this dhyana yoga, this kind of practice which will bring one to the platform of soul, Brahma Bhuta, where completely one is freed from the three modes of nature and one becomes joyful, peaceful, a prasannatma, a happy soul, even within this world. And that prasannatma, Brahma Bhuta prasannatma, will ultimately come to bhakti. So L, now 55 to 66th verse, talks about love of God, the supreme objective. In text 54, Krishna says the Brahma Bhuta stage, which will bring one to bhakti. Very important verse of the Gita. So the soul which has got purified has come to the Brahman realization stage. I am Atma, perfectly peaceful, perfectly happy in as Atma now. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. Right? No more hankering. Right? No more, envy. Uh, Samahas equipoised all the time. Samahas sarveshu bhute. When the soul comes to this level, Krishna says, Mad bhakti labhate. My param bhakti. Now the soul can come to pure bhakti. Right? So now what bhakti we are performing is under modes. We have to purify ourselves, come to mode of goodness, and then rise beyond it. A Brahma Bhuta soul will ultimately come to the Shuddha Bhakti of Krishna. And Krishna says, ultimately, if you want to know me as Krishna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you have to come to Bhakti. Bhaktyamam abhijanati, 55th verse. Yavanyashchashmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato jnatva vishate tad anantaram. So Krishna says, as Prabhupada says in the lecture to this verse, one lecture, Prabhupada says, if I tell you that the Prime Minister is coming to our town, what do you expect to come? One lone man walking on the street, Prime Minister has come? No, no. If Prime Minister will come to your town, so much secret service, so much police, weeks before they will begin their job, and there'll be a cavalcade of cars. And when the Prime Minister will come, the hotels will be prepared, everything will be done. So similarly, when God comes to this world, when Krishna comes to this world, he comes with his Vrindavan. He comes with Yamuna. He comes with Govardhan. He comes with Radharani. He comes with all his devotees, Nanda, Yashoda. Don't consider them to be, mortal beings. It is not, to realize Krishna is difficult. For Yashoda to be feeding Krishna, is it a cheap thing to do, to relate with Krishna? Right? If I think, oh, Prime Minister is going to come to my town, I want to meet the Prime Minister, it's not going to be easy. You have to take appointment, and you have to be somebody to get appointment with the Prime Minister. So when the Braja devotees, Vrindavan devotees, we hear their pastimes with Krishna, oh, the friends are playing with Krishna. Shukdev Goswami says, these friends of Krishna, don't think they are normal beings. They are pure devotees of Krishna. Right? So in Vrindavan, so Krishna comes with Vrindavan with his devotees. Now, if I think, Prabhupada says, if I say, I want to also understand Krishna, and I also want to be part of Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan, in the spiritual world, Prabhupada says, prepare yourself. Become serious. Become determined about, spiritual life. You have to become qualified. You have to rise yourself, or raise yourself, I'll say. Rise from the modes, from the strangulation of these modes. The soul has to be free from bondage of these modes. Once you come to bhakti, then you'll understand Krishna properly. And then vishate tad anantaram. Then you can enter Krishna's past. Prabhupada says, okay, I'll give a different example. Whenever they release a movie, Before the movie, they'll release a trailer. What is the purpose of the trailer? To attract you for the full movie. Buy ticket for the full movie. Similarly, Krishna comes to this world to perform his pastimes, Vrindavan pastime, which are just a trailer. Come up, come to me, come back to spiritual world and take part. You are, as soul, you are not meant to be in this world. We are all meant to be in the spiritual world. We are meant to be part of Krishna's Rasa Leela, but we are busy in our rascal Leela. We are supposed to be part of Krishna's pastime, but we are all, busy in this world doing time pastime, but we are busy in our time pass. As soul, we are supposed to purify ourselves and go back to the spiritual world. So does it mean that I have to practice karma, I have to practice jnana, then only I can come to bhakti? No. You can take step by step, but one can come to bhakti, but that bhakti has to be performed under guidance of Guru. That bhakti has to be performed under the guidance of scriptures. Then one can quickly get purified and come to the stage of devotional service. Right? Sarva karmanya api sada kurvano madhyapashrayah. Take shelter of me, Krishna says. Mat prasadat, by my mercy, you will get shashvadam padam avyayam. You don't even need to wait karma, jnana, yoga. No, come to bhakti, Krishna is saying. Mat mai sanyasya mat paraha. Perform all activities for me. Offer all your results to me. And you will quickly get pure. Mat chitta satatam bhava. Always think of me. And Krishna says, by my mercy, you will cross over all the dangers that will come across on the spiritual path while you want to come back to me. And if you do this, Krishna says, but if you do not do this, atachetvam ahankaran, but you maintain your ahankara, separate desire from me, nashtroshyasi, will not attain success, vinakshasi, one will fall. Because one will work as per his nature. If you don't take guidance of Krishna, if you don't take guidance of genuine Guru, what will rule over us? Our swabhava, our own nature will rule over us. So, one will say that, oh, the swabhava seems to be, very important. Krishna says, no, swabhava is there. But Krishna says, there is in the heart, in every living being, in the heart, there is Atma and there is Paramatma. We've already discussed about it. In the 14th chapter, we have discussed about it. So, Krishna says, this super soul is the director and the master. Go back. Right? Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam. Go back and go and take shelter of this Paramatma. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam. Hridadeshe Arjuna Tishtati. Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani. Who is sanctioning? No, Krishna doesn't have to come into picture for everything. Krishna's, one expansion, Vishnu expansion as Paramatma, Krishna is sitting in everybody's heart, everyone's heart. Krishna sanctions the desires of living entity who is wandering in this world. Right? Krishna says, Tam eva sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharata. Surrender unto this super soul and attain param shantim by the mercy of Paramatma. Right? So now Krishna has spoken the entire summary of the Gita. In text 63 says, Arjuna, do as per your wish. Do as you wish. Iti te jnanavakhyatam. I have given you guhyat, guhyataram jnana. Vimrishaita. Contemplate on it. Yatha ichhasi, and do as you wish, Arjuna. Now, Arjuna, after hearing this, you get full knowledge, and Krishna is kind of, your option, your choice now, what you want to do. Now, Arjuna suddenly stood silent, reviewing the deep meaning of the Gita as a scripture. And Arjuna he's at the feet of Krishna, and Arjuna is glancing at his dear friend. How merciful Krishna has been on me, right? And when Arjuna with tears in his eyes is looking at Krishna, Krishna's heart melts like butter. Oh, my devotee, my friend Arjuna, you're looking at me like this. Okay, I will continue speaking, and I will give you the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita now. I have summarized it, but I'll give you the essence of it, right? In very few verses. Hmm? Right? So, even if you don't go through the entire knowledge, no issues. I will save you that difficulty also. Right? And now the next section of verses reveal the essence of Bhagavad Gita, which one can straight pick up. Rather than the entire details of the Gita, if one can pick up these few verses and start quickly applying, Krishna is telling Arjuna, success will be attained. Text 64, Krishna says, Sarva Guhyatamam Bhuya. What does Guhya means? Guhya means secret. Guhyatara means more secret. Guhyatamam means most secret. And Sarva Guhyatamam means most secret. Anyways, Bhagavad Gita is a secret. You may have the book with you, you may be reading, but you can't make out anything out of it. What a secret. And in that, Krishna is secret, more secret, most secret, most secret, Arjuna. I'm going to tell you, which means this would not have come so easily to you, this knowledge. This is pure mercy of Krishna. This is pure mercy. Right? Shrunu me paramam vachaha. Arjuna, hear me, my topmost instruction. Why? Ishto asimi, you are dear to me, Arjuna. Dridamiti, very dear to me. I am giving you this most secret knowledge. Right? Greater than what? Greater than 18.62, where I said surrender to Paramatma in the heart. Greater than that, I am giving you now. Right? And I have already what I have already revealed at the end of chapter 9. Right? Now Krishna says, text 65, a verbatim verse repeated with one line only changing. Manmana bhava mad bhakto, manmana, think of me always. Bhava mad bhakto, become my devotee. Madhyaji, worship me. Mam namaskuru, offer your namaskar, your obeisances to me. Mameva ishyasi satyam te, and if you do this, Arjuna, pratijani priyo sume, you will become very dear to me. Right? So Arjuna is still thinking, but what about the dharmic duties that I have? You are telling me only think of you, only worship you, only offer namaskar to you. What about my worldly duties? Duties for this body, duties towards my parents, duties towards my country. So many duties that, while living in this world, they come up upon me. Now Krishna gives a verse of the verses, all essence of all verse. Sarva dharman parityajya, give up all your dharma. Whatever you consider as your duty, you can give it up. Mam ekam sharanam vraja, mam, to me, ekam, alone, sharanam, take my shelter. And he hints, like whom? Vraja, like the Vraja devotees. For them, Krishna is the only shelter. Now, Krishna is not even 5 years old. And there is, fire in Vrindavan forest. And all the Vrajavasis, what do they do? Now, if there is fire, in your locality, you will call, the neighbors. You'll take a bucket of water. You'll call the fire brigade. These Vrindavan Vasis, what do? They call out to Krishna. 5-year-old. And you say, why? We take shelter of Krishna every time, for everything. The gopis were being stopped. By whom? by fathers, by husbands, by brothers, by uncles, by everyone was stopping these gopis. But the gopis gave up all their duties and they went to Krishna. Sarvadharman parityajya. Our Radha Govind Swami Maharaj, one disciple of Srila Prabhupada, he says, one new gopi came into Vrindavan, newly wedded. She came into Vrindavan and she saw all these Brajavasis are so attracted to Krishna. Krishna, 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 Krishna. They're only talking about Krishna. And this newly wed girl, she asked another gopi, why? Why such attraction for Krishna? And she was told, तुमने अभी तक मुरली की धुन सुनी नहीं. You haven't heard the murli yet. And this gopi said, I will also become crazy like all of you. And she was told, Murli, if you hear Murli, you'll go crazy. Just imagine when you see Krishna, what will happen. These are Vrajavasi devotees. Krishna is hinting in this essence of Bhagavad Gita verse, Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Take shelter of me like the Braja devotees. Right? What will happen? Arjuna is still worried. What about the duties which I have given up? So much sin will come. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo. Don't worry. I will protect you from all sinful reaction. Ma shuchaha. Do not fear. Take my shelter. And Krishna has concluded his Bhagavad Gita. He has completed his teachings. And now Krishna will speak the glory of this Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Right? That's the last section. I'll finish with this end, the closing section. Krishna says, this knowledge, 67th Krishna says, the teachings of Gita should not be given to. Whom should it not be given to? It should not be given to idam, those who have not, performed sufficient tapasya, those who are not devotees, right? And shushushave, those who are not inclined to hearing, right? Don't give it this knowledge. Text 68 and 69, Krishna says, what is the benefit of teaching Bhagavad Gita? Right? Bhaktimai param kritva. If you study Gita nicely, you apply it in your life, and then you teach this Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says you will attain bhakti, which was so difficult to get. Krishna says, just by describing this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to others, if what will happen, you will get bhakti to me. And ultimately, Krishna says, especially the preacher, one who studies, one who applies, and then makes the attempt to give this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to others, Krishna says, oh, that devotee is very dear to me. Very, very dear to me. Krishna says, the benefits of studying this Gita in text 70, he gives the benefits of hearing Bhagavad Gita in text 71. And in text 72, Krishna once again asks Arjuna, Kechit etat shrutam partha. Hey Parth, have you heard with proper attention? Has your illusion, is your illusion dispelled? Illusion caused by ignorance. In text 73, Arjuna says, oh, nashto moha, my illusion is gone. Smritir labdva, my memory is regained. Tvat prasada, hey Krishna, by your mercy, once again, I am beyond all doubts. I have decided now, I will fulfill your instructions. I will live by your word. Text 74, Sanjaya, who has been reciting all this to Dhritarashtra, he speaks out. Sanjaya uvacha, he says, itiha iti aham Vasudeva and Partha samvadaha. This talk between Vasudev, Krishna, and Partha Arjuna, what is happening? All the hairs on my body are standing on end. Romancha, Roma Harshanam. And in text 75, he remembers Vyasadev and thanks Vyasa. By his mercy, I got the vision and I could see what's happening on the battlefield. Vyasa prasadat shutavan. I could hear by the mercy of Vyasa what Krishna spoke to Arjuna In text 26, he says, I repeatedly recall this wonderful sacred conversation and I get so much pleasure. And as I remember Krishna's wonderful form, you see, text 77, Sanjaya says, Rupam ati adbhutam hare. I remember Krishna's beautiful form. Vismayo me mahan rajan. I am struck with wonder. Hrishyami cha puna puna. Right? And I am so happy. I'm gladdened. And in text 78, Sanjaya ends the Bhagavad Gita by saying, wherever there is Krishna and wherever there is Arjuna, victory, morality, and all auspiciousness, niti, everything will be there. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, yatro Partha Dharudhara, tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir, Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. So he's saying that wherever there is Krishna and wherever there is Arjuna, certainly opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality will be there. This is my opinion. And the Gita ends with Sanjaya's this prediction. Wherever there is Krishna and wherever there is his devotee, opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality will always be there. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. So, thank you everyone for being part of this yajna, where we studied the 18 chapters of Gita together, made our best attempt to understand it properly. We would also like to thank Srila Prabhupada, whose Bhagavad Gita as it is we used, and his Bhagavad Gita is as it is. You can understand, because from the beginning, from the introduction, Prabhupada will tell us, before we even get confused with the 18 chapters, in case we may, right, in case we may, Prabhupada gives us the essence of the Gita in the introduction itself. By the time we come to the end of the Gita, we understand, wow, this sadhu, this author has not cheated. He gave it as it is, what Krishna actually wanted to give. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dandavat pranam. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments, verifications, corrections, protests? If you have, you can offer them that now. At the end of the 18th chapter, everything is accepted. I could have said brickbats also, but they will not reach me in online platform. So till protest you could do. We also have to accept the fact that everything happened by Gaurav Prabhu's blessings, his coordination, his blessings, and 18 chapters to be studied like this, and in an online platform, and you are sitting in Calgary, and I'm in India, and I was at different places during different Wednesday mornings for me, and somehow it came about, and one or two sessions had to be also given by some Hari Bhakti Prabhu, but we could finish it. I'm grateful to Gaurav Prabhu that he engaged me in a service like this, and he blessed me that way, and he made me fortunate to discuss the Gita like this. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Brajmalini Mataji has a question.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
No.
Thank you so much for these sessions. One question I had was about the previous chapter. The acronym
Okay.
was FACE.
Sorry.
Could you go over what each one was? Because it was, I think F
No, once
was,
again. I could not hear you, Mataji. I could not hear you. Sorry.
oh, the acronym was FACE.
Sorry.
Can you hear me?
FACE, Prabhuji.
Take over.
Acronym was FACE, Mataji said.
The acronym was FACE. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Yes.
Better now?
Yeah. So first was conditioned faith and types.
Okay.
The second was conditioned faith and the symptoms.
So A was austerities, right?
You could take it. Right?
Because usually you go through each one, but that's one chapter you didn't specify. You did it a different way.
Yes, let me go to that. One second. That was in chapter 17. One second. I think, yeah, there was some confusion there regarding the exact way the acronym flow was flowing. One second. Okay. Yes, I have it in front of me. Yes. Yes, it didn't go. So conditioned faith, the types was the first one.
Okay.
Right? So that was F. And then it went to the next was Mataji, good question. I will go through it once again and I'll check.
Okay, I was thinking austerity for the second one. I don't know.
Second one was the second section is getting free from defects in one's sacrifice, austerity, and charity. How do you get free from it? That was the second section, right?
Okay.
The third section was about no, the second
Symptoms?
section was symptoms. The second section was symptoms, right?
Yeah, condition, faith, symptoms.
Condition, faith, symptoms was the second section, and the third section, which was the last section, 28 verses only, right? Well, I'll get you the acronym once again, huh?
Okay.
I'll get you. I'm not able to recollect. I'll get it for you. I'll send it to Gaurav Prabhu. He can forward it to you. Gaurav Prabhu, please remind me. Huh?
Sure, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. In case
Prabhuji,
I visit Calgary this year, in case I can, I'll try to meet all of you there. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji,
Sir.
Prabhuji, if you have a minute, Shubhankar Prabhu would like to say something.
Wow, he's
Hare
the one who's
Krishna,
going to offer the
Prabhuji. Please
protest.
accept our humble obeisances.
Yes, Shivangar, your protest on behalf of everyone.
No protest, Prabhu. For ISKCON Calgary, we really want to thank you, Prabhuji, for that you have taken such a precious time of yours and helped us to learn Bhagavad Gita. And especially, like, I think everybody of us like the way you gave the acronym and broken into the theme and connected the theme so that, it becomes easier. Of course, earlier chapter I have forgot already, but at least we have the recording. We can go through the recording and we can always recap. But it gives us a very good flow. And you made it very humorous with the practical example and the stories. Thank you very, very much, Prabhuji. We are really grateful. And all of us will say 3 times Haribol to show our gratitude to Kanai Thakur Prabhu. Please unmute yourself, and if you can video on. Haribol!
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 Prabhuji ki jai.
Thank you very much,
Very much,
Rishabh Prabhu. Thank you very much, Rishabh Prabhu and Gaurav Prabhu.
Yes, thank you, Rishabh Prabhu and Gaurav Prabhu also. And Amritari Prabhu also.
Amritari Prabhu, yes. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thanks, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much to all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.